Hey, happy Saturday, everyone. Oh, sorry, shoot. Happy Friday, I meant to say. Yeah, I just want to do another video game market report for the week of May 17th, 2024. Happy hunting out there. I don't know exactly what people are looking for as far as obscure video games, like kind of just getting your knowledge there, or video games that you may know about. There's a bit of a mix on this week's report. I try to keep it as relevant as possible to like kind of current video games or iterations of current video games, like Zelda, of course, is probably one I'll always put on this list, and a couple ideas for flipping. Buying a video game raw, sealed, or CIB, and then seeing what the market's going for it, or what the market's selling for, and possibly making some money and adding to your collection, or maybe buying some crypto. Who knows? But as always, if you do like this content, please hit that like button. Please subscribe. Please tell all your friends. I'll keep doing these as much as I can. Still trying to get more views on these video game market reports and the comic book market reports as well. But I do appreciate everyone's support with the channel. So let's get into it. So, like I said, is it's very fun and enjoyable to kind of look into a brand new segment of collecting. I've during the pandemic, I was doing a lot of comic book collecting. It was easier, it's cheaper. But since now it's a little bit harder to, quote unquote, find a dollar comic book and sell it. I think X-Men 97's helped out a little bit, but the video game market's even tougher because a lot of times you'll go to a specialty store or you'll go to a garage sale and people are just asking a lot of money for secondhand CIB or just secondhand in general because they know that physical media is kind of going down the gutter, quote unquote. I heard that GameStop's rumored to be closing some stores and converting to more, I don't know, like digital type merchandising. I'm not really sure where they're headed, but that'll be a fascinating thing to watch. Best Buy, Target, I think Walmart too, they've shelved or are going to shelve. Best Buy's already done it. Physical media as far as like movies are concerned. The next aisle over is video games. So as time goes on, it's going to be tougher and tougher to find more, uh, you know, physical products of these video games that we love, and it's just going to be more. There's going to be more. It's going to be a little niche, for now, but I think it's going to be the future because kids don't read comic books as much as they used to. I think they still do, but every kid plays video games still, whether that be a digital video game or a physical one. But I'll stop talking. I'll get into the presentation, and hope you guys enjoy this. So first off, a very loved game by me back in college. I remember playing this my first semester. I lived in a dorm, and this dude on the corner had a Dreamcast. And I was like, dude, what is that video game you're playing? He had a tiny, tiny TV. It was like a 15, 17-inch TV. And it was Marvel versus Capcom. And talk about the integration of two great, mediums, Marvel and Capcom. I remember trying to get like the biggest combo at the end of the game. So I'd use Cyclops, I'd use War Machine. I want to say Iceman. Those are my three. Nonetheless, I played the crap out of the game. I still love Dreamcast to this day. I think it's one of the most underrated systems of all time. But this is one of the games that's, I guess, sought after. I wouldn't necessarily call this game rare. I think it kind of came out at the tail end of the Dreamcast, though. But 100 to 150 bucks CIB. I didn't see that many graded sales of this video game. I'd recommend for sure, like, if you can get the sealed for 500, that's pretty expensive. I mean, it's just a sealed video game, right? It's harder to tell whether or not it's like a secondary seal too, I believe. CIB is tough with these CD games because you're always gonna have scratches. You're gonna have potential cracks in these CDs. So when you are looking for CIB, which I'm not mad at, just make sure that the CD is in good condition. It's really hard to replace the CDs to get like a brand new one and like stick the the cardboard into a new one and vice versa. If you can do that, man, like kudos to you, but it's really difficult to do in my opinion. But yeah, just be really wary. of making sure that the CD holders, like, like the little knobs on the ends of the CD are good in good condition. And these are collectibles. These aren't like sometimes you know, or most of the time, you're not going to play this game. If you're buying CIB for 150 bucks, unless you really love it. I'm sure there's a digital version of this somewhere out there somewhere, but nonetheless, 100 to 150 bucks CIB. Sealed's going for like 500, which I think is way too high. I wouldn't flip this. This is more of like a long-term investment. Who knows? Capcom might come out with some like more content, and they could come out with a Marvel versus Capcom like for PS5 or future systems. But pretty cool game, one of my favorites of all time. And this is my flip idea of the week: Modern Warfare 2 Sealed. Usually the PS5's one go for a little better, but I felt like this one just popped a little more because of the Xbox like green kind of background. But yeah, try and get this for like 20 to 30 bucks, like tops. Flip it for 150 to 200. I saw a couple sales of that amount in a 9.8. Again, my recommendation, and shout out to the homie Nemesis Prime. Hope you're watching this rewind 6 minutes into it. But just make sure you're able to ask for really like close pictures of the corners where the seals are at. If it's a little bit flared, or perhaps like on the corner, the plastic's like damaged for some reason, you're not going to get a perfect grade. Typically, the cost for a grade is like 30 to 35 bucks on video games, depending on what service you use. I use CGC just because it's easier for me to send stuff to them. Of course, lately I'm a little annoyed with them, but that's another story. But this is a tough one. You want to get a really low, like 20 to 30 bucks, like tops, but you got to make sure, email the seller, like ask, hey, like I see you have a stock photo. Tell them what you're doing. I want to make sure I want to get this graded. I want a really high grade with CGC. Can I see like a video? Can I see scans of it? Don't just go out and see like, oh, there's a $20 Modern Warfare Sealed Call of Duty. I'm just going to buy it. Make sure you're really careful with this, because you're going to end up with a stack of ungradable video games that are modern, that don't really go for a lot in the secondary market today. So that's just kind of my announcement or recommendation. If you are grading video games, it's a little bit different than it's a little bit harder, honestly, than the comic books. So, but nonetheless, if you have a 9.6 or 9.8, you can make some money and put that towards your next video game like this one. PS3 Grand Theft Auto 5 graded. I feel like along with Fortnite, this medium is like the spec for me for the next 2 to 5 years. Everybody knows about Grand Theft Auto. I don't care if there's going to be a movie coming out. Grand Theft Auto 6 is coming out next year. It's going to be a pretty big event. And that's kind of what enlightened me to think, oh man, maybe you could find a PS3 sealed, possibly flip it or hold on to it for the next 2 to 3 years. I see sealed going for like the original price of like 50 bucks, which makes sense. A 9.4 goes for 125 bucks. So make sure it's always like important to get like the best like price on these video games, but more so do the calculation in your head, or hit me up if you want my video game or my collector graded calculator. It works really well to determine like how to negotiate or find like that absolute floor that you're willing to pay for a collectible video game. Again, Grand Theft Auto is coming out in the next year or so. There's a lot of hype for it, but this is really I feel like the game that really put it on the map. Again, Grand Theft Auto 5, and online as well. But yeah, just be really careful. Again, like 40 to 50 bucks maybe, but make sure you get like really clear photos that it's going to grade fairly high. And 9.8s go for like 300 bucks. So, and there's a couple like collector's editions out there as well. But good luck to everyone and happy hunting. Oops, wrong page. That's my crypto page. Okay. This is kind of a fun one. I don't know if a lot of people know about this, but I thought about this because NCAA football is coming out this summer again. Thank God, 10 years later, which is kind of weird. But nonetheless, yeah, this is the last NCAA football game that came out until the summer. A 100 or a grade of 8.5. I think it was CIB, went for 145 bucks. This definitely has a cult following just because I think, obviously when people bought this game, they didn't know it was going to be the last football. At least I don't think so. But I forgot the dude's name that's on the cover of this. But yeah, This is like, I remember when I was playing this game like back in the day, and my buddy Trevor, who I went to college with, he was a fraternity brother of mine. We would always be like, dude, why are you gonna buy like Madden the next year? Just play NCAA football, get the rosters done, and you have like 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, like on your system. And the funny thing is, and this is ongoing, I haven't bought Madden in like 2 or 3 years. They haven't done anything to change the game. Uh, I can't remember the best Madden I ever played, but like the it's there's just nothing different. It's just the same rosters, the same gameplay. I wish they would. I really wish they would enhance the franchise mode. I think that really like the role play key of like football and sports games. Like NBA Live is like the best. They have a really good way of just making it, just fun. And EA Sports, man, like this is like your marquee freaking thing. And I think also like with the fact that now you have to pay NIL to these like athletes, you got to make it worth it, man. You got to get people to buy this game. So it'll be fascinating to see how much this comes out for. I'm hoping it's only $70, but who knows? And nonetheless, yeah, if you see this, I've seen this come out many times on like people's like garage sales. So look out for this video game. NCAA football 2014. Go. I don't know if pawn shops have this for like a fairly good deal, but maybe you can find a lot of sports games and get lucky. But who knows? 145 for an 8.5 is just insane. So of course the game is 10 years old. Pokemon Emerald version. This is crazy, man. Like this is my crazy like video game of the week. I've found strategy guides for this, which I think is the play here if you're trying to get in like at a small price for like $50 or so. But I was looking at listings, $220 for the game itself. That's insane. That's like in comic book speak, that's like a 5.5 going for $220 of a modern comic book. This book is just, I mean, this video game's like, I wouldn't say it's rare. I went on some Reddit circles and like people saying, getting upset because like the claim is this is a rare video game, but I don't believe it is a rare video game comparative to how many printings there are of video games. Like it just wasn't the one that people wanted. I think people wanted the Ruby Red versions more so than the Emerald version. I'm too young to figure, or I'm too old to know why this was the more like, or the less sought out video game, but strategy guys go for like 50 to $100 on this, like beat up. And I would say this is definitive of each generation of Pokemon players. Like, I feel like this is like the younger cats that are maybe in their 20s, like early 20s. This is probably their game, which is probably why the reason it's shooting up is so high. And Game Boy Advance, from what I hear, like a lot of people talk really highly of Game Boy Advance prior to Switch coming out. So an 8,000 asking for a sealed version. I don't know if that person's ever going to get it, but if I at that point, I just grade it. But yeah, I mean, this is a game that definitely people want to play. But pretty cool data on this one. If for some reason you find this in some garage sale again, I know I'm referencing back garage sales, but you might get lucky. But the Emerald Pokemon Game Boy Advanced Emerald version, this is my crazy video game of the week. So hope you guys enjoy. We're about 15 minutes or 13 minutes into the show, and I just want to again thank everyone for stopping by. And if you could do this, I would really appreciate it. Hold on one second. I should cut that out of the video, but whatever. I thought I caught myself. Okay. MJ Moonwalker. Smooth Criminal. This was Moonwalker was actually a movie too. And I still remember when MJ like turned into a spaceship. I thought it was like the craziest video ever, but who could not watch this video? But Michael Jackson Moonwalker. This is definitely like one of the weirdest games I think I ever played. I think I had a friend that had it because I never had a Sega Genesis. But $150 CIB. This is definitely like I want to recommend like trying to get a CIB and getting like a graded like score of this. I've never graded a Sega Genesis video game itself, but if you don't know, it's like a clamshell type of like case. And yeah, I just don't know enough to be confident to say like that's a easy one to grade or not. But Oh, Paul Skeens is killing people. That's great. But yeah, MJ Moonwalker, I just thought it was like something that like I hadn't thought of in a long time, and so I put it on the list here. But yeah, $150 CIB. I think that's healthy. Obviously, like there's the VHS, so maybe pair them up and get them graded together. That'd be kind of cool. The VHS looks exactly like the cover. So there's no like different art, which kind of sucks. You'd hope they would have made a little bit of a variation, but nonetheless, it's so cool. And yeah, check out that movie and get that graded too. This was my I had no idea this game like even existed of the week, but it's a modern game. That's why it kind of made me think, huh? Like, don't buy every single modern like Mario, Zelda, like even if it's like a first print, double zeros on the back. Thanks, Finny. But there are going to be some games that are going to be rare. The research I did on this one. So basically, this used to be like a Windows or like PC game that they presented to Switch, and it's pretty rare. I don't think a lot of people bought this game, so there may not be second, third, fourth prints of this game, but 134 for CIB, $400 for a graded one. This one I want to kind of share and see if we can kind of take a look at what the market's saying for this Snake Pass Switch. So to be honest, I don't even remember how I found this game, but I think I just so super rare games, yeah. So brand new sealed, and these are asking prices, right? So I mean, here's a CIB that went for asking for 205. There's not that many listings though. I mean, 19 listings. Let's see the solds here. Yeah, 239 best offer, 224. Super rare games. That's the name of the company. That's kind of cool. 175 for a sealed one. This could turn out to be eventually one of like those weird, like I had no idea this was like a thing. Wow, look at that one. 205 with 66 bits. Wow, that's crazy. 41 bits for this one as well. I mean, so this is a healthy one. I don't see any graded issues, obviously, but like, wow. So there you go. Snake Pass Switch, your modern Switch rare game. So yeah, moving on to the next one. This I thought was just like, wow, I didn't even know this like existed. But Texas Chainsaw Massacre on the Atari. I don't even know the graphics would make this like do it any justice, but yeah, I don't really look at Atari video games just because I was like past, like I played Atari, but I didn't really like get into it. I think this video game came out like in the early 80s or so, but I don't know if you play as the Texas Chainsaw dude or Leatherface or the guy with the gun. But I remember watching the movie and I didn't remember a guy with a gun in the movie. Anyway, there's a listing on Germany. Let's see here. Okay, let's see here. Atari, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Okay, it's like right there. So yeah, 16 bits for that's a pretty clean CIB. That was March. I mean, there's a lot of crazy March deal back then. Here, let's see here. Okay. Halloween, $1,600. Just the cartridge, 500. 2,600. Number 18 out of 20. Huh. Yeah, I gotta do more research on this. But there was a listing in Germany, if you guys are curious. And this guy just wants a lot of money for his 1,400. Where was it? That's pretty cool. Custom display case. It's just the manual in the game though. $650. Wow. 7.0. Oh, this is the one from Germany. So original cartridge, but there's no. Is there a? Let's see. So here's the booklet. There's the box and the game. Okay, cool. That's not bad, in my opinion. Oops. Hold on. Yeah, I mean that's not bad, but like very niche. Like you either really want to have this game and like feed some weird like nostalgia for Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But yeah. So anyway, Texas Chainsaw Massacre Atari, $1,000 for one from Germany. So Wizard Video Games. That's the other thing I didn't mention. I've never heard of that video game company, and I'm sure you haven't either. But maybe Vinny has. He's crazy when it comes to video games. Last but not least, this is for my homie in the Discord, Blade Milder, or for Mike. Console of the week. I'm gonna try and end these shows with the console of the week, but this is not necessarily like market prices, but just kind of like this is what this console what makes this console so like rare. So the Code Veronica game came out on Dreamcast, evidently. This was kind of like a celebrated, they want to make this a really special video game for the Dreamcast. I think it's kind of odd because Resident Evil is more of a PlayStation game, but nonetheless, you have a console they don't make anymore. They only made it for a very small period of time. A limited console. There's only 1,800 units of this. There's a black one. It's called the Stars version. There's only 200 units of that guy. So it's black and it's actually pretty cool too. But people are asking 3 to 5K for this and 20,000 depending on CIB or seal, just depending on condition. I couldn't find any sales of this Dreamcast. People, I guess, are not selling this Dreamcast at all. But nonetheless, yeah, I thought this was really cool, but extremely collectible if you're a diehard Resident Evil fan. I think the jury's still out on graded consoles, but they do go for good money. I mean, I would, if I had the dough, I'd probably pay for a sealed Final Fantasy VII PlayStation for sure. But I don't know if they even make those. But it's very niche, like you really have to like get a collector that has a lot of money that does video games to want to put that much money in like, space, I would say too, for a console. So anyway, that's your market roundup for the week of May 17th, 2024. Just wanted to do a quick video for the video game the video game market. Hope you guys enjoyed that. And if you guys want more of these, please like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and tell your friends about this. And I really appreciate it. Otherwise, we'll see you guys on Sunday. Have a great weekend and stay safe out there.